So the next question, how do you monitor and troubleshoot the performance and availability of your SharePoint framework solutions on Azure?
Oh, right. So when it comes to the availability as well as resource throttling, so I can just divide that into two parts. So first one is maybe a resource throttling kind of a thing that we have got in SharePoint as well as in any of the applications. So resource throttling comes in picture whenever there are multiple requests coming to your application. So how well your application is going to sustain that much of load. So one good example is like maybe a Christmas sale or Diwali sale on Amazon when there will be very much request coming on your website to have the purchases, right? So in that cases, how well you are going to sustain all that entire load. So that is one part of the resource throttling. Another thing is probably a user throttling. So as I said previously, like mostly we try to authenticate with user. We use those user delegated kind of a thing. But at the same time, I have seen few of the applications wherein everything works with that particular user. So that means I, as a user, log into any of the system, but again, my identity has been taken over by other user, and then that other user performs the role on my behalf. So if that is the case, and there are again multiple requests coming to your resources, again there could be a user throttling as well. So there are two things here: resource throttling as well as user throttling. So all those things that you need to take care of. And one more thing again I need to stress upon is the testing part. So if you are using DevOps, you can definitely go for the test cases, not just to test your endpoints end to end, but again the throttling or maybe a performance testing there as well. So again, there are various tools available in market. For example, Selenium, or even we have got some from the Power Platform as well, or maybe uh, maybe from the Power Automate as well, Power Automate for desktop, through which you will be able to mock certain requests so that because in reality you cannot test the application with multiple users. In multiple, I mean to say most of the users or maybe a bigger umbrella here. So you can probably ask your teammates, which could be just 10 or 20, they can test the application simultaneously. But when it comes to your applications running into a market where it may be thousands or maybe even millions or billions of users who are going to use your applications. So in those kind of circumstances, these kind of tools, they can help you. They can mock like at one given point of time, maybe billions of users are testing your applications. And from there, you can see like what are the points where your application starts to fail. And then probably there you can go for the optimization. So again, optimization here means it could be a resource optimization, it could be a memory optimization, because nowadays most of the applications that we build, again there is a demand that those applications should also work on mobile platform. And when it comes to mobile, means nowadays we get maybe 32 GB, 64 GB for very less prices. But maybe since I'm coming from that background where we just had to hardly deal with megabytes. Okay, so in those cases, running the applications on mobile is pretty much memory consuming, and that, again you have to very much sure about what kind of an resources that you are consuming, what kind of an variables that you are declaring. Again, one point here that I come to know from the variables is like in my one of my engagement, I was working with Microsoft. I wasn't Microsoft MVP at that time. Probably I was a fresher kind of a thing, maybe just 2 or 3 years of experience, and I was working on the Microsoft related project. And there was an assignment for me. I completed that successfully, and when I was into a review kind of a thing with my Microsoft manager, so he asked me like, why did you declare these three variables? The things could have been done without declaring those variables. Okay, so I just explain him. I try to explain him in my ways, but his point was like, now that it's okay that you have declared these variables, but when it comes to the devices where we have a lesser memory, probably all of these variables can consume more spaces because now that unnecessary I have those three variables. So even if you consider those three variables are one variable each is taking probably eight bytes. So you're unnecessarily going to consume eight multiply by 3 bytes. Okay, so that was kind of an striking for me that okay, whenever I'm writing my code, at least I should make sure that all of the objects that I'm using, I should dispose those, or maybe unnecessary, I should not go ahead for more memory consumption. So those are the learnings, Miss. Based on your experience, you will get all those kind of learnings, and then you can grow with that.
Thank you so much, Nanddeep. Again, no follow-up questions here. You've pretty much covered a lot.